What's up, Eagles Nation? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Pablo Gary. You are now locked into Think Eagles. I am your #1 Eagles fan from Maryland. So I had a video up earlier. It was getting comments and likes and viewership, and then YouTube emailed me and said it was no longer viewable or something like that. So unfortunately, I have to redo this video all over again, talk about my initial reaction of the Eagles defeating the Baltimore Ravens 16-13. But like Jalen Hurts said, I'll do anything for Philadelphia, do anything for this channel. So here we are, round two. Basically, honestly, my initial reaction to the Eagles beating the Baltimore Ravens was really positive. Honestly, when I looked at this game, I think ultimately what you want to get out of it is, number one, you want to get the win, and then you want to come out safe. You want to come out uninjured, and I don't think the Eagles had any injuries Friday. So I think that right there, if we can just come out the game with tape, guys not injury, you have film that young guys can build off of, I think that's cool. Like, even if we didn't win the game, just keep guys healthy. And I think going into the game, we were expecting the first team offense, the first team offense to go out there, but it was raining really heavy in Maryland that day. And so I think Nick Sirianni sort of made the executive decision to keep those guys dry and sort of live to fight another day, which I wanted to see Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts in that offense at least one series, but I also understand too, this is preseason. Man, if Jalen Hurts gets out there and he tweaks something goes bad, then everybody's critiquing Nick Sirianni and he's made the worst decision ever. So I definitely understand where he's coming from, but I also love that Vic Fangio, the Eagles defensive coordinator, said, no, like, you guys are going out there. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Devin White, all of you guys, you're going out there, you're getting your reps. And so it just shows what kind of coach Vic Fangio is. He kind of has like that old-fashioned, old-school style, and Nick Sirianni is like that new modern approach. Like, hey, man, I'm going to keep my guys fresh. And so I love that there's like this clear-cut, like, you can basically see that Vic Fangio has the power to do what he wants to do on defense, period. So because it kind of is weird that the offensive starters didn't play and Nick Sirianni sort of made that call, but on defense, Vic Fangio, he had a lot of starters that played in that game. So you can definitely tell that Vic Fangio is over what he's over. Kellen Moore is over what he's over, and Nick is kind of doing what he's doing. And so, I think that combination, it'll work moving forward. Let's start offensively. I got to start with Johnny Wilson, man. I think coming into this game, there were a lot of reports. It was a lot of conversation about him moving up the depth chart, him leapfrogging Paris Campbell, taking over that third wide receiver position. And based off what I saw, I see why he's doing that, right? Because of his ability to block on the perimeter. So now he's an asset in the running game, a bigger body out there, blocking those smaller cornerbacks. And then also what he's able to do in the passing game, right? And so he's not the traditional 6'7" big, linky, long guy that can't move. Like, Johnny Wilson can move. He can play football. And so I love that, the Eagles coming into this game, you want to see your first round guys look like first round guys. It's sort of a cherry on top when your later round guys, when your 4th, 5th, and 6th, maybe even 7th round guys, they're showing that they can really be starters. And I'm saying that I could see Will Shipley becoming running back too. I can see Jeremiah Trotter starting in this defense. I can see Johnny Wilson having a starting role and, helping the Eagles out in the red zone. And so for me, like, I got everything I really wanted to get out of this game. I think I got more, actually. And so I just like what I saw, man. There were some things that I didn't like. Obviously, y'all go defense here. Bradbury playing safety. He didn't look comfortable. He didn't look natural. He looked like he was really struggling out there. I don't even think his body is like really comfortable with just playing downhill fit the run type football, being aggressive and physical. And so I think his days are definitely going to be numbered in Philadelphia. Not sure how this Bradbury situation is going to work, but to me, if he makes the roster, he's basically your third safety in an emergency situation. A guy goes down and he's your backup, playing at cornerback if a guy goes down. So we'll see what happens there. But, I just, to me, it's just like I wish the Eagles could find a trade partner and just sort of move on with this situation because to me, the Bradbury project at safety just doesn't look like it's going well at all. So um, another guy that I was really surprised at in his performance, I just don't know what's going on with him, is Anaya Smith. Maybe he's having just a transitional maybe it's just a tough transition, coming from college to the pros. You're getting a little bit of money in your pocket. You're moving from one state to another state. You're going from a college playbook to an NFL playbook. So there are different factors that could play into why he's not really having success out the gate. But I will caution everybody and say just because Anaya Smith is not having success out the gate doesn't mean he's not going to have success in Philadelphia. I seen it was a comment basically saying, "Oh, this guy, he's just another Quez Watkins," and I want to just sort of tell you guys, assure you, Anaya Smith is not another Quez Watkins, right? Anaya Smith, he played against the top teams in college football. He played against the Alabamas of the world, the Georgias of the world, and he made those guys and those secondaries look silly. So, I know I'm a big Anaya Smith guy, and for me, I'm just going to keep rooting for the kid. It's one game. It's just one game. It's a preseason game. I will say he came to Philadelphia. He wasn't 100%. He was injured. The Eagles wanted to sort of slow walk him. And so I do think he'll make the roster. Quez Watkins was here for 4 years, right? And he was drafted, sixth? I think the sixth or the seventh round. So fifth round guy, you don't just give up on him just because he doesn't have a decent, preseason. So what else, man? I was really pleased with second year guys like Nakobe Dean. He was flying around making some plays. Nolan Smith Jr. He got a sack out there. He looked faster and quicker than everybody else, and that's what you want to see going against the second team, third team guys. Like you don't want Quinyon Mitchell and guys like Nakobe Dean and Nolan Smith to look like they're going the same pace as the second or third team guys, right? You want them to be a step ahead, and that tells you that they could probably come in and be starters for the Eagles. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. registering his first sack of his career. Another guy who the Eagles got later in the draft, fifth round, but the way he played, right, he could be a starter. Will Shipley, receiving touchdown, made some plays in the backfield, running the football, made some plays out of the backfield. I talked about how the Eagles would use him heavily in the passing game. His first touchdown was a passing catch touchdown from Kenny Pickett. I think we just have a ton of guys, fourth, fifth, sixth round guys, man, that are making plays. And if those guys can help us this year, it's going to be huge. And I'm basically saying that Will Shipley, Johnny Wilson, and Jeremiah Trotter Jr., those guys are basically a lock to make this 53-man roster. Basically. So really proud of those guys. I think the Eagles have really good depth at the O-line position. I like what I saw from Trevor Keegan. He played left guard. I think he was playing all up and down the line. I'm really impressed with our third center, the guy Dylan. I forget what college he attended, but he played really good football. Like I really like our offensive line depth. Seems like what's my guy name? Mekhi Beckham. He's won officially that right guard spot. They played him a series or two, and they pulled him out of the game. So, those guys look good. They really did. Tyler Steen looked really good. I'm pleased with the offensive line depth. Let me see. Some guys made some plays at tight end. Nobody really stuck out to me though. Kenny Pickett, backup quarterback. Honestly, guys, I never really liked Kenny Pickett's game. He's a guy for me, even coming out of Pitt, I wasn't really high on. I think he's an okay player. Do I think if Jalen Hurts got hurt down, down in the season, if he got hurt, do I think Kenny Pickett could win you 1 or 2 games? He probably could, but it would have to be more of a run heavy type of game. They would have to, run the ball a lot. I don't think you can pass, you know, 35, 40 times with Kenny Pickett and win the football game. I think he's a quarterback that has to be hidden within the scheme or the offense, right? Like your offensive coordinator has to know what plays to stay away from to keep him going in a positive direction. Like he's a quarterback that needs a Kellen Moore. He's a quarterback that needs a Kyle Shanahan that knows what plays to call for him and what plays not to call for him. So, we'll see what he does. I honestly, I don't like Kenny Pickett, guys. I wish he would give up the number 7 to Quinyon Mitchell. I just don't care for him, to be quite honest. So I apologize if I don't know a whole lot about Kenny Pickett, but he, from what I saw, he looked okay, but he has to be protected. He has to, be, in a scheme that is sort of catered to his limitations. And to me, that's why I don't like him, because his hands are small. That was a big thing coming out of college for him. I know we ran the brotherly shove and he almost fumbled. They did the replay and he almost fumbled the ball. And I'm like, dude, how do you almost fumble on the brotherly shove play? Like, that's absolutely crazy. So, I just think, a lot of guys made some plays. Jalen Hunt on defense, like he looked really good. I think he's going to flash maybe the second to last game. His speed to power, and I like what I seen from him. Vontae Maddox, defense, he's so okay. Some of these guys are okay. It kind of sucked because I think, again, you talk about first team versus second or third team, and we had most of our starters out there on defense. So, to see Baltimore come out and really punch us in the mouth with the running game, running right up the middle, wasn't really encouraging. Jalen Carter was out there, Jordan Davis, Bryce Huff, Josh Sweat, Devin White. So we had our starters out there. Look, it's preseason. I don't want to, be overly critical or sort of jump the gun here, but we got to tighten up. We definitely got to tighten up, because if your linebackers are not going to play, to me, then you got to go ahead and get a Justin Simmons. He's still sitting out there. To me, Reed Blankenship looked average. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, Reed Blankenship doesn't move the needle one way or the other. He's just a guy that's there, and I don't think the Eagles need a guy that's there. Like, if you're not going to get pressure from your D-line, if your linebackers are going to be average, guys like Zach Bond, if he's going to be your starter, I don't know. I really don't know what to tell you. I'm not really high on Zach Bond. I think he's a special teams rotational piece at best. To me, he's not a starter. I don't know what Vic Fangio sees in him. He's a guy that, you just kind of plug in here and there if a guy goes down. I would rather sort of kickstart Jeremiah Trotter Jr. He looks really good. Nakobe Dean, I would let them two fight it out, or even consider a rotation between those guys and let them play beside Devin White. So, I think I needed to see everything I wanted to see. We got to get better. We have to get better. I think we had 8 penalties. So hopefully we can cut those penalties down in the second game against the Patriots to 4 penalties, and then our last game to 2 penalties. And hopefully by the time we, fly out to Brazil, we would have cleaned up those penalties. So I think that's going to be it for me, guys. I'm excited about the Eagles' young player. I think our young guys are legit. I think guys like Johnny Wilson, Will Shipley, Jeremiah Trotter, Quinyon Mitchell, those guys are going to really make some plays for us this year, and I'm really excited about it. So thank you guys so much for watching the second upload hopefully everything goes right with this upload and we'll be good to go. All right. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. As always, fly, Eagles, fly. Peace. Catch you guys next time.